What makes someone the greatest actress of an entire generation? Is it the awards, the unforgettable performances, or is it the ability to completely own every room they walk into? When people talk about Hollywood legends, one name almost always comes first: Meryl Streep. With a career spanning more than 4 decades, dozens of award-winning performances, and a record-breaking number of Academy Award nominations, she's often described as one of the greatest actors to ever step in front of a camera. But here's what makes Meryl truly different. It isn't just her talent, it's her personality. Because once the cameras start rolling during an interview, you never know what's about to happen. Unlike many celebrities who carefully plan every answer, Meryl has built a reputation for saying exactly what's on her mind. Sometimes it's brutally honest, sometimes it's unexpectedly hilarious, and sometimes it leaves everyone around her completely speechless. Interview hosts have learned that asking Meryl a simple question rarely leads to a simple answer. A casual conversation can suddenly become one of the funniest moments of the entire show. That's one reason audiences love watching her interviews almost as much as her movies. She doesn't try to sound perfect. She doesn't hide behind rehearsed answers. Instead, she embraces awkward moments, laughs at herself, and somehow turns every unexpected situation into comedy. That honesty has earned her the respect of fellow actors across Hollywood, whether she's standing beside Tom Hanks, sharing the stage with Jennifer Lawrence, or joking with Anne Hathaway. Meryl always brings the same fearless energy, and perhaps that's why so many younger actors describe meeting her as both exciting and slightly terrifying. Not because she's intimidating, but because she's completely unpredictable. One moment, she's delivering an emotional speech that moves an entire audience. The next, she's making a joke that no one saw coming. Even after decades in the spotlight, Meryl has never tried to create the image of a flawless Hollywood superstar. She openly laughs at her own mistakes, admits when she's nervous, and isn't afraid to tell embarrassing stories about herself. Ironically, that's exactly what makes audiences connect with her, because behind the legendary for most celebrities, interviews are carefully planned. Every answer is polished, every joke is rehearsed, every word is chosen to avoid controversy. Meryl Streep has never played by those rules. That's exactly why interview hosts love inviting her back, because no matter how much they prepare, she always finds a way to surprise them. One simple question can instantly become an unforgettable television moment. Sometimes it's because of her quick wit. Other times, it's because she says the one thing nobody expects. And when she does, even veteran hosts struggle to keep a straight face. One of Meryl's greatest strengths is that she never pretends to be perfect. While many Hollywood stars carefully protect their public image, Meryl seems completely comfortable laughing at herself. If she forgets something, she admits it. If she makes a mistake, she laughs first. That honesty makes every interview feel genuine instead of scripted. Fans never know whether they'll hear a touching story or witness one of the funniest exchanges on live television. Even fellow actors have learned to be careful around her. Tom Hanks once discovered that a simple conversation with Meryl could quickly turn into playful teasing instead of politely agreeing with every story. She happily corrected the details, making the audience laugh as both actors joked back and forth. Their chemistry looked less like two movie stars and more like old friends who genuinely enjoyed making each other laugh. Jennifer Lawrence experienced something similar. During a conversation filled with compliments, an innocent misunderstanding led to one of the funniest moments of the event. Rather than pretending she understood everything, Meryl openly laughed at herself. The audience loved it because it showed exactly why she's so relatable. She never worries about looking flawless, she simply enjoys the moment. That's a rare quality in Hollywood. Even award ceremonies aren't safe from her unpredictable personality. While most acceptance speeches follow the same familiar formula: thank the director, thank the cast, thank the family, Meryl somehow manages to make every speech feel different. Sometimes emotional, sometimes completely hilarious. Even when standing in front of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, she speaks with the same honesty she'd use in a normal conversation. Perhaps that's why audiences listen so closely whenever she steps onto a stage. You never know whether you're about to hear an inspiring message or a joke that leaves the entire room laughing. But as entertaining as those interviews were, they reveal only one side of Meryl Streep, because behind the confidence was a young actress whose career almost ended before it had even begun. A single audition, a single cruel comment, and a moment that could have destroyed anyone's confidence forever. Every Hollywood legend has a story about the moment everything almost fell apart. For Meryl Streep, that moment came before the awards, before the standing ovations, before the world even knew her name. She was a young actress with enormous dreams, determined to prove she belonged in Hollywood. Like thousands of aspiring performers, she walked into audition after audition, hoping someone would finally give her a chance. Most auditions ended the same way: a polite smile, a quick thank you, and another rejection. But one audition became unforgettable for a very different reason. As Meryl entered the room, she immediately realized she wasn't being judged for her talent alone. The people behind the desk were looking at her appearance before she had even spoken a single line. It was one of those moments that could destroy a young actor's confidence. Instead of hearing comments about her performance, she was made to feel as if she simply didn't look right for the role. Many people would have walked away heartbroken. Some might have given up entirely, but Meryl reacted differently. She refused to let one opinion define her future. Years later, she would look back on that experience with remarkable honesty, not because she enjoyed remembering it, but because it reminded her of something important. Rejection is often someone else's opinion, not the truth. And in Hollywood, opinions change faster than almost anything else. Ironically, the same industry that once questioned whether she fit the image of a movie star would eventually celebrate her as one of the greatest actresses of all time. Looking back now, it's almost impossible to imagine. The woman who would go on to win multiple Academy Awards, the actress whose performances would inspire generations, nearly had her confidence shattered before her career even began. But difficult beginnings weren't the only challenge she faced. In those early years, success didn't come with glamorous dresses, luxury hotels, or red carpet treatment. Money was tight, every opportunity mattered, every paycheck counted. Award ceremonies looked nothing like they do today. There were no designer wardrobes waiting backstage, no teams of stylists preparing every detail. Sometimes Meryl simply wore whatever she already had, and somehow, those humble beginnings made her future success even more extraordinary, because while others chased fame, she focused on becoming a better actress. Role after role, film after film, she quietly built a reputation that couldn't be ignored. Directors wanted to work with her, actors admired her, critics praised her performances. Before long, Meryl Streep wasn't just another talented actress, she had become the standard that everyone else was measured against. But despite all that success, she never lost the sharp sense of humor that made her so different. In fact, some of her funniest moments happened not on movie sets, but while accepting awards in front of millions of people, and somehow, even those emotional speeches would end in laughter. Winning an award is supposed to be simple. Walk onto the stage, smile for the cameras, thank the people who helped you, leave. For most actors, that's exactly how it goes. For Meryl Streep, almost never. Somehow, every time she steps behind a microphone, something completely unexpected happens. That's one of the reasons audiences never lose interest in her acceptance speeches. They don't feel rehearsed, they feel real. Meryl has never tried to sound like the perfect Hollywood star. Instead, she speaks exactly the way she thinks. If she's emotional, she shows it. If she's nervous, she admits it. And if something goes wrong, she simply laughs and keeps going. That honesty has created some of the funniest award show moments in Hollywood history. During one ceremony, Meryl became so caught up in the excitement that she accidentally let a word slip out that instantly surprised the audience. For a brief second, she froze. The crowd reacted. Then Meryl did what she always does. She laughed at herself. Instead of pretending it never happened, she turned an awkward moment into one of the most memorable parts of the night. That's something very few celebrities can do. Another time, she walked onto the stage prepared to deliver what she believed was the perfect speech. There was just one problem. She couldn't read it. Why? She had forgotten her glasses. Standing in front of millions of viewers, she suddenly realized the words in front of her were almost impossible to see. Many people would have panicked. Meryl smiled, improvised, and somehow made the situation even more entertaining than the speech itself. Moments like these remind people that even Hollywood legends are still human. She has also become famous for another reason: her incredible ability to laugh at herself. During one acceptance speech, Meryl jokingly admitted that there are days when even she wonders whether people give her too much credit. The audience burst into laughter, not because they agreed, but because only someone with genuine confidence can make a joke at their own expense. That humility is part of what makes her so respected. Despite decades of success, dozens of iconic performances, and countless awards, she has never acted like she's above anyone else. In fact, many younger actors say the opposite. They describe Meryl as warm, encouraging, and surprisingly funny behind the scenes. Of course, not every memorable moment happened on an awards stage. Sometimes the funniest stories came from movie sets, where Meryl's sharp sense of humor caught her co-stars completely off guard, and one actress, in particular, learned that lesson the very first day they worked together. For someone known for playing powerful, intimidating characters, you might expect Meryl Streep to act the same way off camera. But the truth is, most of her co-stars describe a completely different person: professional, warm, and surprisingly funny. Still, working with Meryl for the first time could be incredibly intimidating, not because she wanted people to feel nervous, but because everyone already knew they were standing beside a living legend. One actress who experienced that feeling was Anne Hathaway. When she joined the cast of The Devil Wears Prada, she was still early in her career. Landing a role opposite Meryl Streep felt like a dream. Naturally, she expected their first meeting to be warm and encouraging, and at first, it was. Meryl welcomed her with a smile and told her she was excited to work together. For a brief moment, Anne relaxed. Then Meryl paused, looked her directly in the eyes, and delivered a line Anne would never forget. "I think you're going to do a wonderful job." Then she smiled again. "And that's the last nice thing I'm going to say to you." The room burst into laughter. Anne laughed too. But for a split second, she wasn't completely sure whether Meryl was joking. Of course she was. From that moment forward, Meryl fully stepped into the role of Miranda Priestley. She stayed focused, she carried herself with complete authority, and she created one of the most unforgettable performances in movie history. Many people believe her intimidating presence was effortless. In reality, it was the result of incredible preparation and discipline. Even between takes, Meryl carefully protected the atmosphere of the character whenever it helped the performance. That's one reason The Devil Wears Prada still feels so believable today. Her commitment inspired everyone around her to raise their own performances. But despite her serious dedication on set, the cameras also captured plenty of unexpected moments: missed lines, broken character, uncontrollable laughter. Even Meryl couldn't keep a straight face forever. Some of the funniest bloopers happened when a perfectly serious scene suddenly fell apart because someone couldn't stop laughing. Those behind-the-scenes moments reminded everyone that filmmaking isn't just hard work, it's also a lot of fun. Over the years, dozens of actors have shared stories about working with Meryl. Almost every story ends the same way. They walked onto the set expecting to meet Hollywood's most celebrated actress, and left talking about one of the funniest, kindest, and most generous people they'd ever worked with. That reputation explains why, After so many decades, directors continue calling her first whenever they have a challenging role, because talent may open the door, but character is what keeps people coming back. And as you'll see next, Meryl's honesty doesn't stop on movie sets. She has never been afraid to speak openly about Hollywood itself, even when her opinions made headlines around the world. Coming up next, Meryl Streep's boldest opinions about Hollywood, aging, fame, and why she has never been afraid to tell the truth. Many celebrities spend years carefully protecting their public image. Every interview is planned, every answer is polished, every opinion is measured. Meryl Streep has never been interested in doing that. Throughout her career, she has earned a reputation for saying exactly what she believes, even when she knows not everyone will agree. That's one of the reasons audiences respect her. Whether she's discussing acting fame or the challenges of growing older in Hollywood, Meryl rarely hides behind carefully prepared answers. Instead, she speaks with honesty that often surprises both interviewers and audiences. One topic she has spoken about many times is aging. For many actresses, reaching a certain age in Hollywood has traditionally meant fewer opportunities. Meryl has openly discussed how quickly the industry can change the way it looks at women. Rather than staying silent, she chose to talk about it with humor and confidence. Instead of allowing stereotypes to define her, she continued taking on powerful, unforgettable roles, and in doing so, she helped prove that great performances have no age limit. That fearless attitude has inspired an entire generation of actors. Many younger performers have said that watching Meryl remain authentic gave them the confidence to do the same. But honesty isn't always comfortable. There have been moments when interviewers expected safe, predictable answers, only to receive something completely unexpected. Meryl has a remarkable ability to answer difficult questions without sounding defensive. She often responds with humor, a thoughtful observation, or a story from her own life. That's why conversations with her rarely feel like ordinary celebrity interviews. They feel genuine. Even when discussing serious topics, she somehow finds a way to keep the atmosphere warm and engaging. It's a balance very few people can achieve. Her colleagues admire that quality just as much as her acting directors often describe her as someone who elevates every project she joins, not only because of her extraordinary talent, but because she encourages everyone around her to do their very best off-camera. She has also become known for supporting younger actors. Instead of seeing new talent as competition, she celebrates it. Many stars have shared stories about arriving on set, feeling nervous, only to discover that Meryl immediately made them feel welcome. That generosity has become one of the defining qualities of her career. After decades in the spotlight, she still approaches each project with the same curiosity and passion that she had at the very beginning. Perhaps that's the real secret behind her success. Not the awards, not the fame, but the willingness to keep learning, keep growing, and never pretend to be someone she isn't. And yet, despite all her unforgettable interviews and award-winning performances, some of Meryl Streep's funniest moments happened when absolutely nothing went according to plan. Unexpected mistakes, hilarious bloopers, and spontaneous moments that reminded everyone why she remains one of Hollywood's most beloved stars.
For someone often described as one of the greatest actresses in history, you might imagine Meryl Streep never makes mistakes, never forgets a line, never gets embarrassed, never breaks character, but that's exactly what makes her so fascinating. Behind all the awards, the standing ovations, and the legendary performances is someone who laughs at herself just as much as everyone else. Over the years, fans have seen countless moments where things didn't go according to plan. Sometimes it happened during live television, sometimes on a movie set, and sometimes in front of thousands of people at major award ceremonies. Yet no matter what happened, Meryl always reacted the same way. She smiled, she laughed, and she turned an awkward situation into an unforgettable moment. One reason audiences connect with her is because she never tries to appear perfect. If she loses her train of thought, she simply admits it. If she forgets a name, she jokes about it. If something unexpected happens during an interview, she doesn't panic. She embraces the moment. That natural confidence is incredibly rare. Many celebrities become nervous when something goes wrong in public. Meryl seems to enjoy the unpredictability. Perhaps that's why interview hosts often say she's one of their favorite guests. With Meryl, every conversation feels different. No script, no rehearsed reactions, just genuine personality. Even during promotional tours, unexpected moments seem to follow her. A simple question can lead to an improvised joke. A serious discussion can suddenly become a room full of laughter. And even when the cameras capture a mistake, she somehow makes it more memorable than if everything had gone perfectly. Her fellow actors have noticed the same thing. Many have admitted that sharing a scene with Meryl can be intimidating, not because she's difficult to work with, but because she's so present in every moment. You never know when she'll add a small gesture, a clever line, or a completely unexpected reaction that makes the entire scene feel more alive. That spontaneity is one of the reasons directors love working with her. She doesn't simply recite dialogue. She listens, she reacts, she creates moments that feel authentic. And when those moments become funny, they often end up being remembered for years. Despite everything she's achieved, Meryl has never behaved like someone who believes she's above anyone else. She still laughs at her own mistakes, she still enjoys surprising people, and she still approaches every interview with the same curiosity and humor that made audiences fall in love with her decades ago. Perhaps that's why her legacy isn't built only on extraordinary performances, it's built on authenticity. Because in an industry where perfection is often expected, Meryl Streep reminds people that being genuine is far more memorable. And after decades of unforgettable films, countless iconic interviews, and some of Hollywood's funniest unscripted moments, one question remains: how did one actress become the gold standard that every generation continues to admire? Coming up next, the final chapter, where we explore why Meryl Streep's legacy may never be matched, and why Hollywood still considers her one of the greatest performers of all time. There are movie stars, there are award winners, and then there are the rare performers who redefine what acting means. Meryl Streep belongs in that final category. For more than 4 decades, she has remained one of the most respected names in Hollywood, not because she chased fame, not because she tried to become a celebrity, but because every performance felt honest, every character felt real, and every role reminded audiences why storytelling matters. Throughout her career, Meryl has played queens, journalists, mothers, politicians, artists, teachers, fashion icons, and countless unforgettable women from every walk of life. Yet somehow, no 2 performances have ever felt the same. That's the mark of a truly extraordinary actor. But perhaps her greatest achievement has nothing to do with awards, it has nothing to do with box office success, and it certainly has nothing to do with records. Her greatest achievement is something much harder to earn. Respect. Directors respect her, actors admire her, critics praise her, and audiences around the world continue to celebrate her work decade after decade. Very few performers remain relevant across multiple generations. Meryl has done exactly that. Younger audiences discover her through modern films. Older audiences remember the classics that made her a legend. Some know her as the intimidating Miranda Priestley. Others remember the emotional performances that earned her countless awards. And many simply know her as one of the funniest guests ever to appear on television, because behind every unforgettable interview, every hilarious blooper, and every emotional acceptance speech is someone who never stopped being herself. She never tried to become perfect. She never pretended to have all the answers. She embraced mistakes. She laughed at awkward moments. She spoke honestly, and perhaps that's why people continue to connect with her after so many years. In an industry built on image, authenticity became her greatest strength. Today, Meryl Streep isn't remembered only because she's one of the greatest actresses in history. She's remembered because she made greatness feel human, and that's something awards alone can never measure. As new generations of actors step into Hollywood, many will win awards, many will become famous, but very few will leave behind the kind of legacy that Meryl Streep has created, a legacy built not only on extraordinary talent, but on kindness, humility, courage, and an unforgettable sense of humor. And perhaps that's the reason her story continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Not because she was perfect, but because she never pretended to be. If you enjoyed discovering the funniest and most unforgettable moments from Meryl Streep's incredible career, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories about Hollywood's biggest legends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.